So the question that was brought in is quite interesting, and they started by saying, where I go to church, they are advising me to get married legally for me to move to the next step in church matters, or rather to move up the ladder in our church hierarchy. I have told my husband, who does not go to church, about the issue, and he has told me that the fact that I am his wife and we have 2 children is enough of a certificate of our marriage. I have even explained to him how important a marriage certificate is, and he has told me, kama ni mali nataka, mali yake yote ni yangu na watoto wake. I am so tired of this and all of my efforts to get him to do it, and he just doesn't want to do it, he is too busy for that. What do I do? Couples, is there a way to get the certificate without his presence being there? Number one, no, there's absolutely no way you're going to marry this man against his will. Number two, I feel like this brings even bigger issues, because the fact that you're living as husband and wife, you have 2 children together, and he's only, the biggest problem he has is marrying you officially. That makes absolutely no sense. But at the same time, how are you approaching this matter? How are you coming towards him to say, hey babe, how about you officiate this? How about we legally become husband and wife? What's the tone you're using? Are you coming to say, unajua hata siwezi fungwa kitambaa ya Women's Guild sababu haujanioa? If that's the tone you're coming with, obviously he's feeling attacked and he's feeling called out for not doing something that he's supposed to do. And also, people know what they're doing. Men know what they're doing, and don't think that he is not aware of the fact that he has not legally married you. Don't think that this is something that is so oblivious to him that you have to explain it to him 1,000 and 1,000,000 times for him to understand. He knows, he understands, he knows where you lie, and I feel like it's such a frustrating place to be at. So I personally do not have a solution for you, other than sit down with this man and explain to him why it's important for you to be legally married, the type of stability it gives you. Because right now, to be honest,
insecurity,
you're either single or you're married. He's either your husband or your boyfriend. Switch things up. Call him my boyfriend. Stop referring to him as my husband. Call him my boyfriend until the day he will marry
Baba
you.
Nani.
Exactly. What do you mean just because you have 2 children, you're my wife? It does not work like that. I am only your wife when you put a ring on it. And I think this is even a conversation I've had with my aunties and my mom when they called me Mrs. Who. And I stood my ground and I said, hey, have you come and read at my mother's house? Have the cars peed? Call me Miss, okay? Refer to me the way I am. So, and also maybe just the fact that over the years, you were really okay with being the wife.
Yeah, now you're acting brand new.
And now you're acting brand new. You've been okay all this time. It's been years. You have 2 children together. And now all of a sudden you want it to be official. Where was this conversation beforehand? Is there a time uliketi mkasema haya, tuweke budget ya mchele kando, tuweke budget ya nini kando, tuweke budget ya tent kando? Are you having these conversations, or did you just spring it on him one fine Monday morning?
Decided.
Unajua siwezi fungwa kitambaa sababu mimi sio wife. No, you don't do it like that, babes. Have this conversation and have it as many times as possible, and also give an ultimatum. Marry me, babes. Kwani? Kwa ejini how long?
A few minutes.
A few minutes. It's not a time issue, so yeah.
I don't know, it feels like, okay, there's 2 ways I'm looking at this. The same way you said, it's like it's starting to be an issue simply because there's a need for it. Like the church has said I can't until, So that makes it feel like, I don't know, you're holding him hostage to an extent. Like, if you don't marry me, I wouldn't be able to get into the church. The meaning of it is getting lost in translation. Because if you told me, I can't go with you until you wear XYZ, you'll be like, I don't want to wear XYZ. So what? You go alone, If I tell you, I won't go with you to ABCDE because then they like people who have makeup on, and then suddenly you're like, Kathomi, surely. That is the thing that is causing you not to go with me. Makeup. Basi enda peke yako. It kind of feels like that. It feels like you didn't care about it until the church started forcing things into it. So it's not coming from like a genuine point of view, and it can cause a lot of disgruntlement. I would also be reprehensive about it. I'm like, ai kwani utaki kunioa juu unataka kunioa juu ya church, you know? Kwani utaki, it kind of gives that energy for me. But ultimately, no. To answer your question, there's no way of marrying your husband unless it is signed. Even the government, for them to give you the certificate, the two of you have to be present and sign. Akuna proxy, unless you take another person and then you take another man to go with you as your husband to sign and forge your husband's signature. Otherwise, and even then he can sue, he can take you to court for it. So ultimately I feel like maybe just tell him, hey, this is not about the church, this is not about any of that other stuff. I just want us to get married because we've been together for a long time, we have children together, it will give me security, it will give me a sense of belonging as well. Please just let's do this easy thing. We don't even have to do like the whole big wedding. Let's just go to the Attorney General, sign the papers. It's really a very short process. I promise you I'll make all the arrangements, but I want to marry you because I love you and because you have been acting and living as my husband. It's not about the church. That's just an added thing. I think make it seem like you actually make it look the way you want it to be. You want to be married to this man, not for any other reason, but because you love them and you respect them and they are the father of your child. So just explain to them in that way. Hey, let's get married. Why? It will give your children a sense of home and security. It will give me security as well, mental and otherwise. And ultimately, for the betterment of our family, it is important that we make it legal, right? If it doesn't work out, then maybe now you can ask your church people to come in and have a conversation with your husband, your pastor. But if your husband doesn't believe in the church, it becomes tricky. Maybe talk to your parents. That's another place I'd go. Let your parents sit down with you and have these conversations about the benefits of getting married to each other and so on and so forth. I think intervention from other older men listen to men, which is annoying as hell, but men listen to men. So bring in the men of the family, let's have this conversation. If at all he refuses to understand your stance as just, I want us to make it legal. We hope we've helped. If you have any feedback on how she can actually sort this out, let us know. The number is 0770 729 366. Right about